us a good conversation topic.
A good conversation topic.
Yeah, not a proversation, a conversation.
Ooh.
Oh. That was
Look at this
bad.
guy. Mr.
Guys,
Cool
is
over
Congress the opposite of progress?
No.
No.
Just kidding. I know.
Fuck
it's not
off.
true. I just wanted to say that.
here. Good conversation topics.
Oh, I had one that I thought of the other day.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know. It was just the idea of, like, because I was thinking about, well, like, okay, what's the podcast? Inhuman. What makes someone human versus an animal? So, like,
either you're
by
you're
Peter
human
Singer.
or you're
This is
android.
his definition. If you can understand your existence, then you're human. If you can say, oh yeah, I have a memory of me from 5 days ago, and that thing from 5 days ago
but see,
is me.
how can we
That's a human.
How can we confirm that other animals don't have that same kind of memory? Like, I think there's no like quantitative way to actually measure, like, hey, does my dog remember itself like running around like an idiot like 5 days ago? Like,
Yeah.
Probably. It's a dog, let's be fair.
No.
And what about a lobotomized person?
Yeah.
Or a person with amnesia?
Yeah, the person with
Amnesia's the better argument.
Yeah. Then I think
They're
by
not
that
animals,
argument,
they're
like, they wouldn't be
vegetables.
humans. No, but like
The person with amnesia
like-
and lobotomized.
yeah. Or if a person
I
can't
think
say that from one
I think
moment to the
the
next, I'm
amnesia's,
still the same
canceled
being,
out by the lobotomy.
then
Yeah.
that's it. That means that some humans, like babies, aren't considered human. And
what?
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
can't remember.
Oh no, this is gonna get into a really bad abortion argument. Or
No.
this could. Because
Fucking
if he's
no.
saying my...
No one said anything about
Yeah.
abortion. You're
I'm
the
not
first
saying-
person to say
yeah.
anything
No, I
about
was saying
abortion.
Babies aren't considered
Wait.
human in this idea.
No, Martin, I
Here's
didn't
a question,
mean
so
among us. I
please
just
need
meant
They're
among the
considered
general public.
people, but
'Cause
not
if-
human.
No, I'm saying, let's say this, what is this guy, Peter Singer?
Well, the
Let's
argument
say
for
this
abortion
argument-
is life, not humanity. I'm pretty sure they couldn't give
It's
less of
life,
a
not
shit about
humanity.
humanity.
Yeah, it's
They
like
just care that it's a living thing. It's one of God's creatures, and it's being put to death without its consent.
You devil worshipper.
But no, I don't know.
Here's a fun question.
What's it mean to be human?
I was also gonna say, like, going off of that, like, why do we associate, like, cleanliness with being human? Like, you know when someone, like, eats
I
really-
don't. I'm a dirty boy.
Like they'll say, oh, like, your room looks like a pigsty or something. Like, why do we associate that with...
Because pigs
Because
are
pigs
actually
run
just dirty.
in
Pigs are
mud,
fucking
yeah.
Pigs are actually
disgusting.
just dirty. Like
But
that.
I feel like, I don't know, like, a lot of actions, when people do them messily or
We
we're
relate them
unclean,
to
we relate them to
animals.
animals. And
Well, I
was
just
like,
say someone has big crypt keeper hands and they're clumsy as fuck.
Yeah.
Or that they're like, they just do something messily. I'm like, you fucking broken? Like,
Yeah.
Retard.
are you broken? Like, why would you do a bad job? It doesn't make sense.
And
Be better.
So what's it mean to be human, Chris?
Chris is like...
You lanky skeleton. You.
Hasty ass Skeletor looking motherfucker.
That, not human.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so wait, that's
If
an
someone-
interesting thing. That's a good point, Chris. So what is not human?
If Andrew could repeat yourself real quick.
I think it's a certain
Hasty
level of
ass
body
Skeletor
hair.
That.
Did you say body hair?
A certain amount of body hair. And then you're not classified as human anymore.
Type.
Looking at Andrew.
Typity type. So what is not human? What is definitively not human?
How would you describe Andrew?
If you have 50% of your weight is fur,
Pardon, Brandon?
50% of your weight is fur, like Andrew.
Ooh.
It's a joke.
I know. But, like... I think that goes
So
back
what
to...
about Siamese twins conjoined at the hip, right? Are they one person or two?
Whichever one
persons?
survives is human.
No, they both survive. Like that
That's a
one
mistake.
that one set of twins who are like share an entire torso and arms and legs, but they have two heads.
Well, they both have different streams of consciousness, which is, like, what Kevin was saying before.
So are they two persons or one person?
Oh, they both
They're
have
two
twos.
people.
Like,
Okay,
one-
so when they buy a plane ticket, do they just buy one plane ticket?
Ah!
Ooh.
But what
No, they buy
says that
two.
a plane ticket signifies a...
Well, okay, no, but then
That would be
is
out of
a fat
convenience.
person also two people?
yes.
No, because those motherfuckers don't buy two seats; they buy one.
Sometimes they do.
Bastards.
Sometimes they buy two seats.
Sometimes they do, or they
Wait, is that-
complain about
Yeah,
not
if
getting
you're
one
really
seat.
fat, you can't fit into one seat, so you need to buy two.
Oh
And
my
then they
God,
think it's
wait, is
offensive
this
that they
real?
have to buy two
Yeah,
tickets.
that's actually
This is
Yeah.
a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
That they don't think they should have to pay for two tickets.
But I take up the space of 2 tickets.
But they take up
they
the
pay
space.
for all that food too.
They're
so
paying
it's
for
like,
the space, not the
yeah,
Not
that's
the
seat,
individual
not like
seats.
the yeah.
Just normal people only take up the space of one seat. Just
Yeah.
that's actually bizarre. Wow.
So what's it mean to be human? Is it dependent on the amount of plane tickets you have to buy when you buy plane
No.
tickets?
No, because I would still say
Nah,
Siamese
dogs
twins are two
sometimes
people.
get-
Because like
Seats are
5-year-olds, I feel like would be
They're
human,
lies.
but they can't buy plane
Dogs.
tickets.
Okay.
Proven.
I would say
Or like
kids-
Aztec
kids-
people can't buy plane tickets.
And
Just
they're,
throw
all-
it
they
dead.
were infidels.
Wait, can we separate something out here? We're not speaking biologically human, right? Because like
We
that's
could
pretty
speak
easy.
biologically
Yeah,
human.
yeah. I was
That's
thinking
very
more on the
easy. Are you
biology
sure?
line.
No, it's still not easy.
Are you sure, Sean?
Chromosomes?
It's still not easy. Is my sperm human?
What about people with what
They
about
have
people
46
with
chromosomes.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
then once
what
they
about
connect,
people with
there's no
like
human?
Down syndrome? They have more chromosomes.
Right, but they're base like
They're more
standard.
human
I think
than
he's
the rest.
talking at the
others.
basis
they're a
of.
little too human.
Yeah. I think it's easier to find it biological because like there's clearly a difference between a dog and a cat.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes.
He's
What if I
going
groomed my
biological
cat
like
to look
Not
like a
species.
after you
dog?
skin them.
Not have to use skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, like in that case, like it's someone who pertains to the species Homo sapien.
But let's say you had like a person and like their brain was like replaced by a computer, like a
That's not
perfectly
possible.
human. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
hypothetically,
No,
and like
it's not.
Oh, that thing about sorry. This
If
is
you
a-
read my essay, you'd know.
I'm gonna read your essay,
Did you
Martin.
read my essay?
Martin, I'll read your essay. I'm sorry. I'll read
It's
it
okay,
tonight when I
it's
get
okay.
home.
It's
I actually
cool,
will.
it's cool, don't worry
Sorry,
about
I had 3 exams in less than a week.
I'm not mad.
You're a little mad. You're a little salt.
I'm mad for the joke. It's
Okay.
for the ha-has.
I will read it. I'm actually really
Ha-has.
excited.
Oh, but yeah, the thing about not being able to figure out if animals are considered persons, Peter Singer says, if we're like kind of on the fence and we're not sure if the particular animal is rational and all, then because we have that doubt, we should assume that it does. If it gives us doubt that it could be a person, then it should be a person.
So you're saying put dogs in like our government and like they should have their own, and like animals should have like.
Animals should have rights.
Oh yeah, animals should have rights, but like, are you saying they should have? If they're humans, should they have
If they
representation
can't
as humans?
perform an act
see
of
this
being in
one?
Congress and like not understand what Congress is, because there can be
Don't
people
just-
who
this
don't
guy.
understand what law is. That's completely.
I'm just saying,
obvious.
should dogs have representation? Should dogs be treated as humans? Because like that's what his
I
argument.
don't think they should be treated as humans because they're definitely not humans.
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate, going with this argument because.
No,
like,
no. There's a difference between a person and a human.
Oh.
Well, I don't
man.
think you should treat them as humans. You should probably treat them as persons under a different subset.
But then children are persons.
Children are
children
persons. Yeah, babies
Children
are
are persons, but they should
But
be
they're
treated
not
under
human.
a different subset. Babies are.
That's not like you're just breaking down the classification. It's like it's not a quite a human, but it's like 90% a human.
Well, it's a small human.
Wait, is everyone here? Everyone's here at like 18, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're all human, I think.
I think.
I mean, I
Now
can't
we're
drink
adult
alcohol
humans.
legally.
Adult humans.
Legally speaking, we're adult humans.
Wait, so Sean, you said babies aren't humans.
Yeah, they're not.
No. So here's a fun question. Sorry, I don't think it's gonna apply here, but let's find out. So let's say, for example, you're a normal person. You're caught in a sperm donor facility, and it catches on fire, and so like, you know this place is gonna burn down. You only have the chance to save one of two objects. The two objects are a 5-year-old or a box of zygotes. Like 1,000
I heard
zygotes.
this question the other day.
So-
5-year-old.
So yeah, most people say this 5-year-old, but it's like, in theory, from a utilitarian framework, like you should technically say the 1,000
Wait,
zygotes,
is it
which
just a
way
box
more-
full of single-celled organisms that are just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just chilling.
Like,
Are they
oh,
in like a
like-
petri dish, or are they just like lying on the floor?
Okay, like if you want to, like they're not birthed humans, but they're
But they have.
So I'm just gonna
proto-humans.
carry around a bunch of uteruses and test tubes or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
people who are in the
Almost
favor of
sounds
that.
That
Like
seems
constitutional
difficult.
salesman.
That seems difficult.
But
to
you
pull
have
off.
the power to save
No, it's
either
like
one
a
or the other.
box.
Because, like, maybe
Well,
the
how would I
5-year-old
save
is
it? Would I
trapped
have
under
to
a whole
put? I'd
bunch
have
of
to
debris.
put that into like some sort of
Well,
thing so
okay,
it can
like-
gestate.
No, like the 5-year-old is in
I
a
don't
whole
have
bunch
to
of debris.
gestate a 5-year-old.
Well, you
It's-
could.
I think Sean's speaking from like a Sean's speaking from the
Pure
I get
utilitarian.
what Sean's
Let's say,
saying.
for example, like if you bring the box out, that we'll caveat the box. All the ones survive and they become humans later on.
But they might not. I
So are
think
they
the-
like in like calcified?
But what if you
They're
can
preserved.
grab such a large number of them that the amount that don't make it to humanhood.
Wait, I solved your
Either way,
problem.
either
You
way.
pick up the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old picks up the box of the zygotes.
No, it's not. It's not one of those tricks.
No, like the
Oh.
5-year-old
Straight
has
up,
both
like,
of his
it's a
arms
moral
crushed
question.
in debris, and that's why you can take out a whole lot.
What kind of life is
different
this kid
things.
gonna live? Of course I'm gonna save the box full of not humans.
You think that someone with
He's not
two
strong
broken
enough to lift the
arms?
box.
Like
No,
less work?
Martin, like sea monkeys or something.
Assuming he's a happy, healthy 5-year-old.
You have broken
he's not
arms.
strong enough to
Broken
lift
He's not
arms
healthy. He
heal.
doesn't have arms.
He doesn't say he's
No,
not strong
he has
enough to lift the
broken
It doesn't have
arms.
arms.
Yeah.
We're not gonna assume gender. It doesn't have arms.
Yeah, guys.
No, they're
Is it
just
a boy or a girl?
broken. It's
They.
not completely
Okay.
lost.
It is a non-binary
Kevin,
5-year-old.
just say he's not strong enough to lift the box.
Kill it with
Yeah,
fire.
yeah. Let's say the 5-year-old's not strong
No,
enough.
Yeah,
but
it
also
doesn't
the
have arms.
degree makes it so that makes it. What's the word?
Oh, so it's like,
Stop
the kid
naming
the
the
kid is gonna drop the
5-year-old,
box.
Kevin.
like the dead 5-year-old.
The plot. It's
No.
plausible that you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
take the
yeah.
debris off, and that takes a lot of effort. Well,
Wait,
you
what
could
if
have
all
been
of these
going
zygotes-
out
No
making
matter
trips.
what, it's either kid or box.
Yeah.
There is no.
But what if all the
exceptions to
zygotes are
that.
from people who had like multiple sclerosis and are like gonna like grow up like completely like?
You don't
Okay,
know.
wait. That is a different question that I'm
Uh-huh.
okay shifting to.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
no,
If they're all
serious. No.
No.
So,
Like-
hypothetically speaking, genetic testing
Stop.
genetic testing has gotten to a point where certain ailments and certain illnesses, like for example Down syndrome or like premature blindness, can be detected before an embryo is
Yes,
actually
I love
born.
this. Go ahead, keep going.
Do you
Could
think,
you stop interrupting?
Do you think parents should kill their
Go on,
child
Sean.
solely based on the adult?
Please.
Do you think parents should have the right to solely kill their unborn child embryo? I'm not talking about that kind of debate. Based on the premise that they'll either be born like Down syndrome or like blind, some kind of like what we most people consider a defect.
Like if you knew
Yes.
for sure
Yes.
before they
yes,
were
But
born.
like it's guaranteed.
No,
Like,
but, like,
genetically
Playing
speaking.
devil's advocate here, because they're both saying yes. What right do you have to say, oh, this child's life is going to be terrible?
given the
Yeah,
choice.
like,
No,
it's just
no,
telling-
yeah.
People
It's
have
an embryo.
wonderful
Yeah.
lives better than so many more other people, even though they have
disabilities.
disabilities and ailments.
I feel like
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
can't-
that'll
But
happen
we don't
for
treat.
sure.
But the reason they do is we don't treat them as like normal people.
Yeah, we don't
We
treat-
give them extra assistance.
Yeah,
and
it's
such.
kind of like
Is that
with the
fucked up?
genetic testing.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know.
Well, because you don't know if that person's life is going to go more or less well because of their illness. They could have this illness and then still have a great life, or they could have this illness and it could ruin their life.
What
so
about
like,
my life? I
Yeah,
have to,
okay.
I have to
Sure
raise
life.
this kid.
that's
the
true.
other.
I
end
just
of the
adopt.
stick, The other.
Because having children is
Adopting
morally
is more
incorrect.
morally
Yep,
responsible.
you shouldn't have children.
The other question that's posed with it is how does
That
that
was
make people
complete
who
sarcasm.
are currently exhibiting those symptoms feel? For example, if you like start allowing people to just kill people who have Down syndrome, like let's say someone doesn't kill their child with Down syndrome, how's that Down syndrome child gonna feel when literally like
Nice
people who
line.
have their same disability literally just get killed before they're born?
I feel very, very lonely. I'm sure.
I mean, like it's pretty fucked up.
Well, I know
Also, people like that are grown up, like for example, with Down syndrome, being like, oh yeah, the people of the future are all gonna die because they're like you.
Yeah. But also, there's one of those things where it's like, should the government just instate that, like, if we're gonna do this, it becomes like,
It's all or
All or
nothing.
nothing?
You can't. I think it would like the best solution would be all or nothing. No compromises.
Sean.
but then you take the right out of this individual and you say this child is gonna be born with Down syndrome.
Well, I don't think
Therefore, it
you
must
and I and Brandon, Chris, Kevin, and especially Andrew
Yep.
should have the right to do this, especially if we're not the ones who are gestating the child.
Okay,
It is not in our
that
hands.
okay, that's a different debate on whether or
That
not
is-
the father has like authority in
But
an
you could say
abortion.
the same thing.
Parents
Well,
will
I would
die.
not want if I
Yeah.
knew for a fact that I would be solely responsible for making my kid grow up with 2 heads and 1 cheeked butt. then, like,
It's the worst fate.
So wait, the kid we're talking has 5 cheeks,
Ah!
no,
She
he would
was
just
2 heads.
3 cheeks.
but he's 2-headed.
It's two-headed.
Are the 2 heads like kind of?
They're attached at the ear.
So 4 cheeks.
Yeah,
in
4
reality.
cheeks. Just 4 cheeks.
4
like
cheeks.
a normal human has 4 cheeks. Okay, this 4 cheeks.
4 cheeks, but like 1 head doesn't work.
Oh, I was gonna
It's
say
just like
2 heads
it's
are
just like
better
a
than
it's
one.
just like a tumor in an ear.
Oh, that's actually a thing. It's called conjoined twin syndrome. They had a South Park episode about it. That's how I know.
South Park.
South Park.
Quality.
No, but it's actually a real thing. It's like when 2
But,
twins
like,
are in the
if
womb
I-
and one of them gets fused. One of
Yes,
them like
that was a
shrinks
conjoined twin.
because it takes
Yeah.
the nutrients from the other twin, and then the other twin just like dies and like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
What to do with Dana?
Ah!
Wait, hold on, wait. Let's say hypothetically you knew that one twin was draining the
There
resources
was
of
a
the other twin.
third.
Which one do you kill?
Well,
one that's
the
obviously
one that's
not
clearly a
strong
vampire.
enough.
One that's
But I
clearly
mean,
a
like,
vampire.
That one literally did nothing wrong. It's just getting its resources
That's the
drained
male
by the other
twin.
one.
Sounds like communism.
I think the weaker one. Because
Communism.
the weaker
What do
one,
you do in China?
like, in its
Communism
present
is
state, it's probably had its, like, life force been sapped enough, so it makes more sense to just continue giving to that who could.
So here's the question, my friend. Do we just kill African Americans because the system has already been slanted against them and
Yes.
already white
Yeah.
people have?
That's a waste
Stop!
Of, that's
No!
a waste of
No!
labor.
Okay, you can't extrapolate biology to society. It's,
Send them back
But I
to
mean, the
Africa.
argument is that like
Waste
one of
of
them has like
labor.
already gotten an advantage and has created advantage off the other one, and therefore we should kill the other one,
no.
the one that's weaker.
Waste of labor.
No, because in the womb, I think it's like.
In the womb,
Like-
it's like positive feedback because as one twin gets stronger, this is like a biological thing. We're actually learning about this. As one twin gets stronger, like the other one will get weaker and be less able to like defend per se against the other one. So the other one will get even stronger because it'll continue taking.
Yeah,
risks.
like
I mean,
if
that's
one.
the current system of like the United States.
No, because we're.
It's changing now,
It's
but, like-
changing.
15 years ago, no. This was a positive feedback loop where like white people accumulated more wealth and put in policies that fucked over black people continually. What? Yes, like the crack cocaine. The idea of like making certain drugs that are typically more popular among African American communities have higher prosecution rates than
Yeah.
non-African American communities drugs that are higher rates.
Just what we do nowadays.
I mean,
I wouldn't want to extrapolate one twin eating the other in the womb to
This is fair.
yeah.
the crack cocaine crisis.
Oh wait, back to the genetic thing. Okay, there's actually some genes only determine your percentage.
And
chance.
some genes are only made by Levi.
What?
Ooh, this is
I'm
brought
a
to you
Wrangler
by
man myself.
Levi
Levi
jeans. Product code Levi. 20% off. No, but back to the genes thing. Some genes only determine your percent chance of having. So, like, let's say it's a heart disease. Like, if you have this gene, it'll mean you're 30% more likely to have this chance of heart disease.
Yes, I agree. But like,
So,
like the question is put in a caveat where it's like, let's say for example, we know for a fact this child is going to be.
No, but I'm saying if there were a percentage chance, do you still think that this would apply? Like, let's say your child has a 60% chance of having this heart disease that'll ruin their life.
That's again like the parental
But-
choice.
Yeah.
That's where parental choice comes in, where it's like
You flip a coin. That's what you do.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
With the coin,
Two
there's
faces.
heads on both
there was
sides. and how do
there
you
was this
steal it?
thing. There was this thing. I forget what it was, but like there were two different surveys that people gave out, and they didn't know about the other survey. And the question was, there was this one person, and they had a 30% chance to just die from a surgery, and 70% chance to live. But it was like a very risky surgery. And people would say, would you
Wait,
take this surgery?
wait, 70% risk of dying or 30% risk of dying?
30% risk of dying.
Is that really that risky?
Yeah, that means 3 in 10 people die.
I mean, that is
I'll
really
take
like,
it 3 times.
but, like it already has a probability that it'll succeed.
Yeah. But like,
Okay.
I'm just saying, then you would ask these people, would you take the this procedure if you needed to?
I mean,
And-
if I was gonna die either way, like the answer is yeah. Like, for
No,
example,
like,
it's like don't
if
take
you're-
procedure, die, have a 100% chance of dying, or take procedure, have a 70% chance.
No,
of
no,
living,
but
I would
like
take
this would be
procedure.
die right away, or you have a year left to live, and you're gonna live
Oh, I
for
take procedure.
indefinitely.
That's just a personal choice where it's like,
Yeah. But everyone has that personal choice, and they surveyed a whole bunch of people to get a certain number of percent of people who would take the option. Now, there was another surgery, and it was you have a year to live, or you have a 70% chance of living, or 30% chance of being a vegetable for the rest of your life. And what would you do?
Oh,
would you rather
I-
live or take the surgery?
Again, this is where I take the surgery and tell you if I end up as a vegetable, like unplug me, please.
Yeah,
That's
but
a personal choice.
yeah.
that I'm okay making.
so they surveyed a whole bunch of people, and they found that when death was the option rather than being a vegetable, the one that had death had a lot higher of a statistically significant higher amount of people chose that option than if you were a vegetable.
That's
This is
so...
fair. It would be interesting to do a comparison where it's like, also for example, you have like 2 choices, like yeah. So one, you can just straight up die,
Mhm.
or you can choose between the 2 surgeries where it's like, hey, this one has like a 70% chance of like people living, 30% die. This one has an 80% chance of living, 20% people end up as vegetables.
Ooh, yeah,
I
and
don't-
and change the percentages.
Yeah, so it's like it's a higher percentage of people would like.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. Yeah, but it just the thing shows that people value death more than being a vegetable.
No, it's weird because I'm kind of
It's
like
like-
almost agreeing with that. Like I don't know why.
You would rather have no life than have a shitty quality life.
I would rather have Well, if you're a vegetable, you don't really like.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have a quality
You
life,
don't
so you may as well be dead.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. Also, I wouldn't like if you're a vegetable, like, people are in charge of feeding you, and then it's like people also get to see you in that state.
But
Like,
then
of,
that
like-
helps increase the economy. People get jobs.
Yeah, but it's not the cost of your family and loved ones.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a higher like
I don't know.
bond between like my family than there is between some random
Me
person
and
getting a
my
job.
family.
Very few people are actually just like society would be benefiting from this because like wealth is getting redistributed to people who now have jobs created. Or no one thinks through like that kind of like economic standpoint. Not even economists.
Yeah.
Who typically do. Like.
But yeah, it just kind of shows that we value
This is my
death more than disease.
That slowly happened.
I don't think it's possible for Andrew to play Minecraft any louder than he is right now.
Fuck out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft.
So, does quality of life determine if you're human?
No.
Utilitarianism a little
No.
bit.
There are people with very shitty lives who would still consider human.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Andrew.
Are you sure about that? Are you very certain
Yes,
about that?
I'm very
I
positive.
think they're still human.
Someone who is
Someone
sitting
who is
so
trapped in a dungeon and getting anally probed 24/7 is
Ah!
still human.
cover my poor ears.
Oh, my virgin ears. Ah!
Ah.
So you mean to tell me that a man who is dying behind a dumpster with gangrene and maggots in his legs?
He's still
Where
human.
the fuck did he come from?
Maybe you would know.
This happened.
Yeah. He'd still be human.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to live like him, but he'd still be human.
Yeah, I don't think the quality of your life defines if you're human.
Do lobotomized
Yeah, black
people
people
think
are still
that?
human,
Do
I
you
don't-
think lobotomized people are human? Because they
Yes.
don't have personality traits.
I mean,
I go
I
by.
don't
they're-
think so.
I think humanity is defined a little by your personality and
okay,
a little
wait.
by your
If
perception
we're-
of yourself.
if they're
Easy way
just
to work
like
with it.
living life but not really understanding themselves, no, they wouldn't be. No, they'd be human. They wouldn't be a person.
I think I'm confusing. This is my fault. I'm blurring the line between humanity and individuality.
But that is I feel like part of our humanity comes from that a little bit.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it's like the greater circle of humanity includes parts of individuality,
I feel like I
but
need a
not of
diagram.
all of individuality is included in humanity.
Personality's in there somewhere too.
Personalities and
It
individuality.
like overlaps individuality, but there's also in the giant circle of humanity.
Yeah, personality is completely encompassed by individuality, but individuality is partly.
I was just about to say that, Brandon.
It's
Ah,
partly included in humanity. Because like dogs can have a nice personality, and they can be individuals, but they're not necessarily human.
Is that disposition or personality? I would call that disposition.
Is disposition just like
Disposition is just how you like present. Like you can have a friendly disposition without, like a
Actually
dog
being
can
friendly
be friendly without
itself.
having like a personality. I feel like personality is a little more in depth.
I mean,
Disposition is like kind of how you present yourself. So like happy,
but
angry.
just because I present
like-
myself as a happy person and then I turn around I'm actually the Zodiac killer doesn't.
Okay, that's
know,
not.
You can't bring
depressed.
Ted Cruz
Calm
into
down,
this.
Ted.
Teddy boy.
But I don't think dogs are that advanced where they can like be like, oh, pretend I'm a happy dog. Actually, the Zodiac killer dog. So
No, but like they could be depressed.
I don't think dogs have the mental capacity
Dogs
to be
can be
depressed.
angry.
Dogs
I
can
have
be
depressed.
seen my
Dogs
dog
can have
angry.
Dogs
depression.
get
No,
angry.
dogs can be angry, but I don't think they can fake
No,
one
there's-
emotion and actually feel.
I don't.
another.
I don't mean that they could fake it. It's just like they're a bit.
I
Their
completely
emotions are
disagree.
pretty
I think a
surface level.
dog can pretend to be sad to get a treat and then
That's
My
true.
Okay,
dog
that's
does, mine.
true.
That's a
They-
good
yeah.
point.
instantly be happy the second he gets the treat.
Because he has the
Maybe
treat.
disposition
You got
wasn't
played.
the right word. I don't know. Maybe there are just deeper
Okay.
levels. Maybe there are levels of personality because a dog only has like. You wouldn't compare a dog's personality to a human's personality.
So let's dive into personality. What do you think includes in personality or individuality rather?
Ooh, individuality.
So there's personality.
Individual characteristics.
Motives. I would say motives.
No idea.
Motives and motives and
No,
goals.
but like
Dogs
I
still
feel like
have
that's an
motives.
important part of individuality. Like
But,
everyone
like,
wants something different.
cells have a motive to live.
Removing the biological needs of a person or of an individual, not a person. Let's just get beyond that. I might accidentally say person instead of individual. I'm just
feel like
gonna
we
put
need
that
to-
out
we all
there. But removing biological needs of an individual because a person who's lobotomized and a bacterium are basically they just eat, sleep, and shit. With the exception that bacteriums don't need to shit or sleep rather.
Exocytosis.
Yeah.
They don't need to sleep, but like
Yeah, I know what that is now.
hey, you nurse Brandon.
This kid being so smart and shit.
Cut it out.
Smart boy.
But individuality, there's disposition, which is outward personality. Then there's like inward personality, which is like how you really are.
Inward personality
And
doesn't
that's-
exist.
Yeah, how what you actually are, really. Sort of like what gets revealed through Freudian slips and such.
Yeah.
And then there's like your motives determine your inward personality and your outward personality. But they're not mutually, it's not exclusive to one or the other.
What about your thoughts? Like, what if you think about
I-
something but you don't act on it? Like, is that
I
stuff
think
where
your thoughts are
personal?
determined by other
Your
like
thoughts are
environmental
everything's
factors.
determined by environmental factors.
Ooh.
It's true.
So do you think humanity is
No,
determined
I
by
don't think so.
environmental factors?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
So if I was raised by a pack of wolves, am I a wolf or a human?
That's not a part of the question. The part of the
no, but-
question is that you will act based off of your previous
Alright.
encounters with wolves.
But he just said that personality is determined, or the personality is partially determined by motives.
Personality could be
and personality determines humanity.
the personality trait could be wolf-like.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Therefore, it's not actually wolf. It's still
Ooh,
human.
metaphors.
Wait, so what parts of personality define humanity then?
If personality at all defines
Individuality.
humanity.
Individuality determines part of your humanity.
But
Or does it? Do you think humanity determines individuality, or do you think individuality determines humanity?
Ooh,
No idea.
oh man,
You need to define each of them, and how do
Yeah.
you define them?
individuality makes you different, and I mean, I think individuality is part of defining humanity, because if you think about it, like, but not necessarily. It's not it's not conditional, because like, if you think about it, you can have like a pack of wolves, and one wolf can have like a trait, or like a slightly different bark, or a slightly different disposition, or like a white star on its forehead, and like that marks it as different. So like individuality, but like that doesn't make it human. So I think maybe you need individuality to, like, individuality is necessary to be human, but just because you're individual doesn't mean you're human. Like, it's conditional,
What about babies? Or are we of the opinion that babies are not human?
oh, see, I have a hard time
Because
with that.
babies individually, there's really nothing that
They
defines
don't
them
have
besides
anything
outward.
other than biological needs of eat, sleep,
They have like
cry.
the potential for being human.
Yeah, they do.
Well,
It's
does
like-
potential? Does
But
potential?
potential doesn't make them human.
Okay.
That's
So just,
difficult.
I mean,
I
there's
feel
the
bad
only
calling
thing that
babies
makes them
not
individual
human.
from one another is outward appearance. But even
Or-
still,
well,
at
no,
certain
they
points in
they
their
are
lives,
no,
they
no,
can
no.
look
They are
identical.
human, but they're not persons.
Do you count babies in a census? People you count in a census, not you.
People count.
Ah.
Or, no. Humans count in
In
a
a
census.
census.
Humans is like Homo sapien. People is different than human.
Oh man,
Okay.
I'm looking at Martin's face and I'm just like,
I'm just gonna look around the room. I'm gonna let my eyes buzz around in my skull for a
no,
little
but
bit.
humanity is different than humans. Humans is Homo sapiens. Humanity is
Collective being.
is all of the Homo sapiens creating a society and art and
Yeah,
shit.
true.
True.
So
It's the
humanity
society.
is humans plus actions of humans.
Humans plus actions, yes.
That's
Plus
pretty good.
plus values. I think values are definitely in there.
Humanity is humans plus actions plus values. That seems like a solid definition.
Yeah,
How would we counter that, though?
I don't know.
That's like,
Or inactions, what we don't do.
Yeah, I think actions and inactions. I think that's like encompassed.
no, but I feel like actions also tag along opportunity cost of each action. Because what you're doing is kind of like existentialist in saying that these actions are what make humanity, and we value these actions over other actions.
Yeah, but I
By
think
saying that humanity has actions, it also says that humanity doesn't have these actions.
Yeah, it's like the absence of action.
Yeah.
But I think also values. I was thinking values not just in terms of action, but in terms of overall. Like we value happiness. That's not necessarily an action.
Yeah. That's why it would be
But-
in the values
yeah.
category. Yeah.
Maybe we should write an equation down or something.
I mean, we've kind of just said it. It's
Yeah.
on record.
That's true.
But how will we counter this?
But I
I'd
feel
have
like-
to sleep on it.
I feel like there might be more to humanity than that, though, because if you just had like a society of like there has to be some sort of personality in there too. Because like if you just had a group of stone-faced individuals that were like, we don't kill because killing is wrong. Like I don't. Is that human? Is that humanity?
Like
Yeah.
Quakers.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or would they be
Quakers.
orcs and Quakers?
Quakers.
Then you're attaching.
Oh, I wish David were here for this.
You're
David-
abnormally attaching humanity to the idea of Homo sapiens and linking them intertwined. That only Homo sapiens can create humanity.
I mean, Quakers were
Because like
certainly
I guess in
homosexual.
that case, like if you have that link instated, and like Quakers would be like Quaker entity or something like that. Like they have their own Quaker entity. They'd be like a separate ideology that's similar to humanity, but based on a Quaker society.
Well, I mean, isn't humanity based off of human, and humans are Homo sapiens? So
Yeah.
wouldn't we want humanity to not be
Well, then for example,
anything else?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like you're saying that like humans can be like not humanity can lack humanity, but like you then in that definition like you can't apply humanity to non-human groups.
Yeah.
You
But
refer
the
to Homo
Quakers
sapiens.
was technically okay. Orcs and Margaret Atwood.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. They would not be Homo sapiens.
But no, technically they were formed in Craig's image.
Yeah, like humanity makes like let's say for example we like genetically breed a new race. Like you wouldn't call them humans necessarily if they're a new race. No,
So
I don't have race.
so
Race is
humanity-
bad. Race is bad. I don't mean race
I
as
know,
like
same
black, white. I
species,
mean race as species. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying for humanity to exist, it would have to be humans. It has to be humans. So that's like a definitive thing. Okay. So it could
Yeah. I mean, that's in the equation. It's humans and their actions and their values.
No, what I'm saying, what if you had a group of humans that was just like, I feel like there's some fundamental aspect of personality and like compassion, maybe. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but like if you just had a group of people that were just like,
Empathy.
yeah, empathy.
I
that's
mean,
the word
no,
I'm
but
looking for.
there's...
like is some like
Yeah, true. Because humans could just not value empathy, and then suddenly...
Yeah, like
Empathy doesn't-
sociopaths, because
Yeah.
they just have no empathy.
I mean, they're part of
I think-
humanity.
but I don't think they're what makes up humanity. Like you could not have you. I
well,
don't
they're
think-
not wholly. Humanity is not wholly comprised of sociopaths.
Yeah, that would be impossible. I don't think that would work. And I think if you humans plus. I lost my train of thought, but it was a good one. I promise.
What do you got, Chris? What you got for us?
You've been pondering.
Yeah, I've been like half paying attention.
Nice.
I'm,
Honestly, there's a lot to follow here. I might go back and re-listen to this.
yeah, I'm like, trying to follow your conversation and Andrew.
We need to actually...
I gave up on the conversation a while ago. So I
we
was
need
like,
to
I don't
actually
know what.
like know what the philosophical consensus is on these stuff, because we're going into a lot of philosophy and we have
think-
no background.
I think the point is that there is no philosophical consensus, and that's what makes it such a hard question. Because if there was a consensus, then we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I think that's why it's hard to find it, and that's why we use it so vaguely. We're just like
So-
all of humanity.
So that is a definition. Now, definitions are one of those weird-ass things
Mm-hmm.
where you can use metaphors to assist a definition, but metaphors are not necessarily a definition. Now, definitions, there can be multiple definitions for a word. So...
That's true. A lot of times we use humanity just to refer to society. Just like all of
Yeah,
humanity, and it just refers to collective sphere of humans. that live on this
Humanity
earth.
and society are thought of as one and the same, which I don't think is true.
Yeah.
Because
At
you
least
can have society is humanity plus systems. So, and even though those systems are probably devised by humans, they may not necessarily have been devised by humans.
Mm-hmm.
So humanity does not equal society, I don't think.
Do you need humanity to have society? Because I would say, I think
Ants have a society.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
have
I
a
know. That's
social
what I was
structure.
trying to say. Like, I think humanity has a lot to do with our values, and you can kind of have a society that functions without having. I mean, you do need values to have a functioning society, but I don't think
To an extent.
you do. It's like a shared. It's like I forget what philosopher it is. I think it's maybe John Locke. He's like, you need. I don't remember if it's Locke, but he's like, you need shared values to have a functioning society, and if you don't, like, you can't agree on anything. I forget I should have looked at my law notes or something. But like you need those shared values to have a functioning society. Otherwise there'll just be disagreement and it'll fall apart.
What do you think, Sean? You've been
No, I'm
stoic.
I'm more or less nitpicking the definition. I really have a disagreement with it. I think
Well, that's good though, because I'm okay with nitpicking.
Yeah, because
Because if we were trying to get not the definition, just one single definition that
and
is
if
very
we can make
specific.
the definition okay to scrutiny.
And if we can make it as specific as we can be without ostracizing one thing or another, that would be a solid definition, I think.
I mean, like, it's kind of like opinion based because, like, to a certain aspect, I think the definition, like, the idea, like, I don't think you necessarily need an aspect of like personality within the idea of humanity. Like, humanity is like kind of like based on like a moral system which goes into like the justification of actions and reasons, and like it's very subjective in that like one group of people consider something like humane, but another group consider it inhumane, because it's based on that individualized opinion. That's why the definition like lacks like an extra amount of clarity, because like humanity is something that's gonna be like this is like a lot of like words or like this like the actual society that's judging this one's character or one's like purpose denotes whether or not it is and therefore like humane or not humane. Like another example is like if for example you like have a group of people that like find something unjust at the moment, another group might find it just in like a different light. A better example actually is like the idea of like what denotes like honorable. Like someone could find something like doing an action like very unhonorable or very honorable, and two groups could look at one action and find it both honorable and unhonorable. And it's because it's the idea of like the individuals base their definition and their opinions off their experiences, and therefore create the application of the definition different from the actual definition.
So you're saying it's kind of recursive? Like society almost defines humanity sometimes in a sense because they decide?
A society, yeah.
Yeah.
Society
Oh, so
not being
it's
like
like-
holistic, society being like a group of people.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's cool. Yeah, it's kind of like
I agree with that.
how there was, I think it was called Ortho Genesis, where that's like the idea that societies go from uncivilized, and they gain more and more tools, and they become more and more civilized as they go along. Which right now is like, do not ever say orthogenesis, because orthogenesis is not factual at all, because societies are based upon their resources that are around them, and some of the major actions that people have, as well as just what kind of community was in the past, like what the history is of the nation. And so everyone's going to have different histories, and just because one has gunpowder and one doesn't make one more futuristic or better than another.
Oh, okay.
I think it has to do with the definition as like civilized, which is just like
Yeah.
You can't really define civilized.
And then also what happened was, to tie it into that, is when people were thinking about this, they were thinking that they were all European philosopher kind of people. And so they were saying, oh, the European one is always going to be the European one is so far the most civilized of all of the cultures.
Yeah.
But that's your culture. You're saying that you're just more civilized than everyone else, which
But they're judging that based on their own societal
yeah, just on their
rules.
own societal rules. They'll say, "Oh yeah, look at these Eskimos eating some seal liver."
Don't call
That's
them Eskimos, they don't like that.
Okay.
They're
Inuit
Inuit.
Eskimos.
Inuit people.
Aleutians.
Snow
Aleutians
Mexicans.
are Inuit.
Snow Mexicans.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's a
Inuit.
joke, Sean.
Okay, so
Come
like,
on.
they're eating
Yeah, they're
seal
eating-
blubber, and it's all messy
snowy-
and bloody,
snowy
and they're in a
folk.
meat hall,
Canadians.
and that's disgusting. That's unrefined. That's not
But in their
culture
society.
in their
fine.
society, but in the Inuit society, that's something highly regarded. Maybe, I don't know.
So is it just based on your lens? How
Yeah,
you...
yeah. It's basically just based on your lens. No culture is ahead of any other culture.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, that's absolutely not
Okay,
true.
sorry, Brandon. You and your Civ 5 science tree.
Yeah.
So it's based on your lens. So
Mhm.
you would have to do you think it's necessary to free yourself of perspective in order to actually act properly on
No, like this
making-
is the
forming a-
anthropological consensus: is that orthogenesis just doesn't exist, and societies don't build up and get better and better. It's kind of like in evolution.
They build
The dinosaurs aren't
They build
better
out like
than
a fat
chickens
person
now.
eating
It's just
KFC.
whatever what the world created it to be is what it is. It's just it is.
Mhm.
It's not good nor bad, nor better nor worse. It just is.
So
at
is-
every step of the way.
Is humanity objectivity?
Can you explain what you mean by that?
No, because I'm just spouting bullshit.
Okay, honestly, so much philosophy is kind of bullshit. Like,
Yes.
a lot of it is.
Not everything is a phallus.
Dr.
one
Waller
isn't
would beg to
untrue.
differ.
I'd
But-
like to see her look at a fat man, a person who's wider than they are tall, and explain to me how they are a phallus.
You're a phallus the long way.
Long way.
So what? They are chode? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, apparently it fucking showed.